Hi, I'm Dempsey Pilot, and this week I'm reviewing Bird Box was directed by Susanne Bier, and it's based on a novel of the same name written by Josh Malerman. Now, this film boasts an all-star cast consisting of Sandra Bullock, Trevante Rhodes, Sarah Paulson, Lil Rel, and even John Malkovich, just to name a few. And the film follows a group of people trying to survive an apocalypse brought on by some supernatural entity that drives you to commit suicide if you look at it. Now, a lot of people, myself included, were really excited for this film. I mean, it genuinely looks good, and as I said before, it's got a really stellar cast. Sandra Bullock, Trevante Rhodes, and John Malkovich are all really solid in this film too. Unfortunately, that's all this film really has going for it. Seriously. I mean, all the other A-listers in this movie are either there to die or get picked off somehow. Sarah Paulson is wasted, Lil Rel is wasted, even Academy Award nominated actress Jacki Weaver is wasted. Okay? Nobody gets the screen time they deserve. Well, except for Machine Gun Kelly, because that guy sucks. This film is very reminiscent of The Happening. I mean, I know I'm not the first person to draw that comparison, but the similarities are there. And the biggest one being that both films follow groups of people that are trying to escape things that they can't see. I mean, the only major difference is that in this film, the people really can't see it, like they cannot look at it. So for most of the film, they're running around with blindfolds on, which is really entertaining. Probably the most entertaining thing about the film. This film may be similar to The Happening, but it's not as horrible as The Happening. I'll give it that. Fun fact, in doing some research on the book that the film is based on, I actually found out that it was in development way before The Happening was even released. So, I mean, you could say that M. Night Shyamalan copied this guy, as opposed to people, well, what people will be saying that this guy copied M. Night Shyamalan, or maybe nobody copied anybody, and they just both came up with the same terrible idea at the same time. Who knows? My least favorite part about this film is definitely the narrative structure. It flashes back and forth between the past and the present way too frequently, and even spends way too much time in the past, establishing a bunch of characters that ultimately don't even matter. Now, what I would have much rather have seen in this film is a bunch of the characters learning how to adapt and survive alongside the entity as it continued to consume the rest of the Earth. But we don't get that, obviously. In fact, there's a lot in this film that we don't get, and by the end of it, there's still a lot left unanswered. I feel like the filmmakers opt out of answering some of the more pressing questions in favor of giving us a stereotypical survival story. The final thing that I didn't really like about this film, and this is kind of spoilery, but it's also really not, is the fact that we never really get to see the actual entity that's terrorizing people for the entirety of the film. Seriously. I mean, we kind of get a glimpse at it in a series of drawings that we see at some point during the film, but even those drawings kind of look like if you just told somebody to draw something scary. We don't really get a definitive look at what it is head on. And doesn't really make sense why we don't. I mean, it's not like if we look at it, we're going to want to commit suicide. At least I'd hope not, because that would just be awful. And I mean, I think a big reason why people want to see this film in the first place is because they want to see what's causing people to kill themselves in the film. I mean, it's pretty much what the whole film revolves around. It's the driving force behind the whole plot. So that didn't make sense to me. And in doing some research, as I said I was doing before, in the film, or for the film rather, I found out in an interview with the writer that there was originally actually supposed to be a scene where we saw the creature, but it was cut from the movie. Why? Why would they do that? That makes no sense. I mean, I don't think Netflix has ever released an uncut version of their film before, so I doubt we're probably ever going to see it, but, I mean, that just makes no sense to me. Like, that's probably the biggest reason why, like I said before, people are going to want to check out this film, and they just remove it from the film. It's just truly baffling. So yeah, that's another reason why I just could not wrap my head around this film. This film prides itself on being mysterious, but none of that mystery really ever pays off because it loses itself. I mean, at one point, there's so much happening in this film that you can't help but wonder that maybe this film isn't too far off from The Happening after all. And for that, I'm going to give this film 2 stars.
What? No!
Guys, thanks so much for watching. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please subscribe. I post new videos weekly, and I've got tons of new stuff still planned for the next couple of weeks. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you stay tuned. As always, if you've seen the movie yourself and you have a different opinion, feel free to comment below in the comment section. I'd love to hear what any and all of you have to say, especially about this film, because from what I hear so far, it's pretty divisive. A lot of people either like it or they don't. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for all the love and support thus far. It really does mean the world to me that you take the time out of your day to view these videos. Seriously. And I love making them for you, and I cannot wait to continue making them for you. So, I'm gonna get back to work. And until next time, I'm Dempsey Pulot. Take care.